We have a 45-minute class today. I'm going to start with that dynamic warm-up, about 5 to 8 minutes, and then we'll get into our 8 sets of 4 rounds like you're used to. So I'm going to use some lighter weights and some heavier weights today. I'm also going to use the bench. You can use a chair or maybe a coffee table. We're going to do some sit to stands. And I will be on the ground. In theory, I had a band, but I don't know where I put the band. Dave's going to get me a band. So we are going to use a band. If you have one, go ahead and grab it. All right, let's get started. I'm just going to start by doing some big backward shoulder rolls. You're going to try to match your breath to your movement, right? So I'm breathing in as the shoulders come up, out as the shoulders come down the back. Nice. I'm going to add a little lift to my arms. It can be floaty, it can be whatever you need. Slowly, the lift is going to get bigger and bigger until I get to full range of motion, big backward arm circles. Good. You should feel that little bicep stretch, that connection between your shoulder blades on the way down. Good, and then switch direction, come up the back, down the front. If you're not already there, step your feet hip distance or maybe a little bit wider. We're going to crisscross the arms in front of the chest. You can start nice and low. It doesn't have to be all the way up at shoulder height. And as things kind of warm up, maybe wiggle your fingers or scrunch and unscrunch your hands. And then pick the height of your arms up just a little bit. And I like to kind of have the left up and then the right up, just to kind of change the focus of the stretch in my pecs. Good, you're going to keep that wide stance, add a slight knee bend if you don't already have one. Tuck the tailbone and draw the belly button in. Yes, I know that was a lot of instructions. And then we're going to twist. The only reason I want that slight knee bend and that tucking of the pelvis is so that you're stable and you're not twisting in the knees, but you actually feel the twist through that mid-back, through your spine. Good, let it sort of peter out, have your hands fall down at your sides, shrug your shoulders a couple times. You go nice and slow, lift them up, and then drop them, and then do a couple quick ones. Nice, we're gonna reach up nice and tall. Pretend you're grabbing a lat pull down bar, grab that bar and squeeze your lats down as you pull that bar behind your head. You should feel all the muscles in your upper back around the back of your shoulder girdle. Just tighten and squeeze. Good, reach up, pretend I added 10 pounds and pull it down again. Big exhale as you pull those elbows down towards your ribs. Make sure the chest is staying elevated. One more time. Reach up. Inhale, exhale to pull that bar down. Really pull those elbows back like you're squeezing a pencil right between your shoulder blades. And then let your hands sort of float down so your chest stays nice and open. I'm going to turn sideways for the next part. You can literally just toss it to me. Thank you. All right, we're just going to hinge at the hips. I have my feet about hip distance apart. My hands are on my thighs. I'm just getting into a little hamstring stretch. Now, if your hamstrings are really, really tight, you might be right here. Trying to keep that back nice and straight. If your hamstrings are a little more flexible, maybe you can come almost to a horizontal position, like you could balance a bowl of soup on your back. Good. Once you don't really need the video anymore, try to flatten your neck out so you're not craning your neck or bowing your head. Nice, draw those shoulder blades back and down, really flat line from the crown of the head all the way to the tailbone. And then on your next exhale, you're going to bend the knees slightly and roll all the way forward and down. Forward fold, kind of hanging like a rag doll. If you need a really generous knee bend to be comfortable here, that's fine. If you need to brace yourselves on your thighs or your shins, that's fine too. Come to a spot that's comfortable where you get a little bit of a lower back stretch. Definitely a hamstring stretch. Good. Bend the knees, tuck the pelvis, and slowly roll all the way up your shoulder neck, and head should be the final things to come all the way up. Take a moment here, right? Get all the blood to flow back into your body. I'm gonna drop my left ear to my left shoulder. If you wanna mirror me, that's fine. Either way, I'm taking my left hand on top of my head, stretching the side of my neck. My right hand, my free hand, can either reach out like I have a dog on a leash, or it can tuck behind my low back. Whatever is gonna work best for you today. Take a breath here. Good, now all I'm gonna do is turn my nose down towards my left armpit. So nothing else changed. I can still be having, that dog on the leash, or I can have that hand behind my back. This is gonna get into your upper trap. You should kind of feel it in the back of the neck, maybe even all the way down into the rhomboids between the spine and the shoulder blade. Good. Release the hands, shake it out a little bit, maybe roll out your wrists, shrug your shoulders, do whatever kind of feels good. We're gonna do the other side. So for me, that's right ear to right shoulder. Right hand is going to come on top of my head. Left hand is either reaching out and down, or it's tucked behind my low back. And it's okay, if you're really flexible, that hand can maybe get a little higher on your back. If you're really tight, maybe it's more on your tailbone. Either's fine. Big deep inhale, big exhale. Nice job. All I'm gonna do is rotate the head, nose towards my armpit. I'm not yanking on my neck. My hand is just applying a little bit of pressure from the top. Big inhale, big exhale. All right, again, shake out whatever needs shaking out. For me, I like to roll out my ankles a little bit, roll out my wrists a little bit. For you, you might want to do a couple more shoulder rolls. I'll give you a few seconds right here to do whatever feels good. And we're going to get into our cardio section. So please modify any of this as needed. I'm going to start with just a soft jog. If you need to do this where you're not really picking up your feet, that's fine, but keep your arms moving. Sometimes we get into like little T-Rex arms. Cute, not as functional. Good, now I'm going to just switch to a little side-to-side shuffle. Again, this can be slow and small, or it can be quick and small. You never want to make it too wide. I don't want you guys putting too much pressure out on the knee. Nice job. And switch into marching. Feel free to slow it down a little bit. Still keep those arms moving, right? I'm swinging at the shoulder joint. I am not just banging on a drum. Squeezing in the core, right? I'm getting the lift in my abs, right? Get that pelvic tilt. Nice, and let's switch to butt kickers. Should feel a little bit of lengthening through those quads. Again, squeezing your shoulder blades back like there's a pencil wedged right between them. Good. Jumping jacks if they're available to you, or single-sided. I'm still moving both arms, even if I'm only moving one leg, and I do keep a little bounce in my legs. Or we can do double. And if double is available to you, I want you to take it. 3, 2, 1. All right, nice job. We are going to get into our first set. For my first 2 moves, let's turn this lady on. For my first 2 moves.
The next workout will begin in 60 seconds. Please proceed to a station.
Oh, how do I turn her down? She's very loud. Volume, there we go. Okay, so I am gonna wear a band for my first 2 moves. Up to you, if you have one, go ahead and grab it. Our first move, we are standing up. We're doing a squat, okay? Now, I want you to grab some weight that you can either hold at your chest and maybe take around your head, or paint a circle with. So those are your 2 options. So I have a weight. It's going to be at my chest when I squat. As I stand up, it comes to my left ear, around the back of my head, to my right ear, and forward, like a halo, okay? So we're doing squat to halo. If you know that doesn't work for you, you're gonna go squat and paint a circle, like you're drawing a circle around your face. All right, we're gonna start set one. So as soon as you're ready, squat, stand, take it around, keep everything nice and tight, and make sure you alternate which direction you're going. So if you're making a halo, like I am, right, where it goes around the top of your head, great. I'm still going one time clockwise, one time counterclockwise. If you're making a circle, like you're looking into a mirror, make sure you're still going one clockwise, one counterclockwise. All right, take a little break if you need it. We have 3 more sets just like that. Maybe you don't want to hold the weight, up to you. Get ready for set 2. Big breath, here we go. Squat, stand, take it around. Really squeeze your core. This is as much a core exercise as it is legs or shoulders, which I'm sure you can feel. Strong core. All right, draw the belly button in, squeeze the glutes when you stand up. Please feel free to modify if this is not healthy for your shoulder, if you have a shoulder injury.
Stop, exercise.
Good, take a little break if you need it. We have 2 more sets just like that. Make sure that band doesn't win, right? Gotta keep those knees apart, that's the reason the band's there. All right, I'm gonna grab my weight so I'm ready to go. We have set 3. Here we go. Squat, stand, take it around, squeeze the glutes. Feel how shifting the weight is going to activate different sections of your core. Right? At one point you have way too much weight on one side, then too much weight on the other side. Right? All those stabilizer muscles get to come into play.
Stop, exercise.
Nice, that's the end of set 3. I'm gonna turn her down just a little bit. Get ready for set 4. All right, here we go, set 4.
Begin set 4.
Well, she barely turned down. Oh well. Good, last set. Our next set of exercises, we're on our hands and knees on the ground doing some glutes. We're going to keep the band exactly where it is. If you need to do a version where your hands are on a bench, we're doing some kickbacks, so you can totally do this standing if being on hands and knees is not good for your body. All right, put your weight down. Keep your band on. First, I'm going to be on hands and knees. I am going to lift my right leg like I'm putting my foot on the ceiling, and I'm just going to pulse.
Begin
Okay?
set 1.
So here we go. Set 1, I'm in this tabletop position, squeezing my right leg, re-squeezing my right glute. If it gets to be a little too tight, you can come down further and go all the way up. All the way down, all the way up. Especially if you have a really tight band on, you're going to want to do the full range of motion as opposed to just that pulse at the top. Now make sure you're not just dumping into your wrist, press into your fingertips, put a little weight in your left knee.
Stop, exercise.
Good, take a break. You can come onto your knees, maybe roll your wrists out, whatever you need to do. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to lift my left leg this time. You can always be on fists as well, if that's helpful for you. Draw the belly in, keep those shoulders square. Good, so I'm just pulsing, using my right glute max. Make sure one shoulder's not higher than the other. Again, if you need that full range of motion, that's fine. Notice if you start to drop into one elbow.
Stop, exercise.
Nice, take a little breather. Take a peek at me. I'm now going to do a fire hydrant. Okay, so I'm gonna lift like a dog peeing on a fire hydrant, my leg out to the side, and I can face this way. I'm gonna do my right leg first. Get ready? Here we go. So the most common compromise is to bend in the left elbow and drop. I want you to keep those arms sturdy and strong. And again, imagine you have that bowl of soup on your back. All right, so draw your belly in. Keep your gaze neutral. Should feel a little bit of tension in the side of your bum.
Stop, exercise. Nice.
We have one more set down here. We're just gonna switch and do the other side. Left leg is going directly out to my left. This one, your right elbow is gonna wanna drop and bend. So you gotta kind of keep that from happening. All right, here we go. Good, and it doesn't have to get sky high. I just want you to feel those muscles activating. Our next exercise, we are on our feet, and we do not need our band. Actually, I'm gonna change exercises. We're gonna be on the ground with the band off. But you do want your weights. So we're gonna be on the ground, band off, with weights.
Stop, exercise.
Good.
Switch to the next station.
So come onto your booty. Go ahead and take that band off. You don't need it. Grab your weights. For me, this can be something heavy. I feel confident doing a chest press with something heavy. Maybe you do too.
Begin set 1.
We're gonna be on our back with the weights glued together over our heart. Really hold on to them. And then I'm gonna bring the weights directly to my chest and lift back up. So this is a narrow chest press, right? And this is actually what I'm gonna do for the first 2 sets, and I'm not going to take a break. If you need your break, totally fine. I'll make sure to tell you when to stop and when to start.
Stop, exercise.
You probably heard that. You can take a break if you need it here, and then hop back in when you're ready, or when she says go. Good, feel that narrow chest press.
2.
Okay, start set 2 if you haven't already. For set 3 and set 4, we're gonna do a wider chest press, okay? So it will change a little bit. Should be getting a little fatigued here. Your elbows are coming right by your ribs. Good, take a little break. For our next 2 sets, instead of having them come right over my heart, the weights are gonna be apart, and my elbows are gonna come to my sides. They're not at shoulder height, they are a little lower. More like a 45-degree angle between your body and your upper arm. All right, so doing a wider chest press, it's gonna change where in the pec I'm focusing. You should feel this in the back of your arms as well. If the back of your arms touch the ground, which they totally can, make sure it's light and that you're not just plopping your arm down, but lowering them with control and lifting them with control.
Stop, exercise.
If you would like to take a break, now is your opportunity to do so. If not, no problem. Keep going. Keep your mind on your muscles. And if it's getting too fatigued, transition and put your
Begin
focus
set 4.
on your breath. If you haven't started set 4, go for it now. Our next exercise, we will be on our feet, and we're going to want lighter weights. We're going to be doing a standing fly. So we want to come up onto our feet and have something light. Make sure you're breathing here.
Stop exercise
And
switch to the
time.
next station.
Safely put your weights down. Come up to a standing position. I'm going to grab something lighter. If you miss the first 5 seconds of a set, it's not going to kill you. Slight knee bend, 45-degree angle in the hips. I'm going to do a fly, okay? I keep a slight elbow bend, but I'm really thinking about pulling my shoulder blades back and together. I don't want to be making like a W or doing too much of an elbow bend and making a row. I want it to be a big fly. Pull your belly button in. If you're noticing that it's like, all right, I'm getting this in my back, then I'm gonna have you do a seated version, and I'll show you that in just a second. Take a break if you need it. I recommend you take your breaks for this exercise. If you need the seated version, you're gonna sit down. You're going to lean over your own legs and do this exercise here. All right, get ready for set 2. Here we go. Remember, if you're standing up, we do have a slight knee bend, 45-degree hinge in the hip. Good, keep going. Nice, feel those shoulder blades squeeze back together. Feel those muscles we turned on in the warm-up when we did that lat pull down as well.
Stop.
Good, take a break. We're 2 rounds down, we have 2 rounds to go. If you need to put your weights down really quick, that's fine. If you want to shake it out or roll your shoulders out, always welcome. We're gonna change it up just a little bit. It's gonna get a little feistier, okay? At the top, we're gonna hold 1 Mississippi. Bring it back down. Oh, good. 2 Mississippi. Bring it back down. 3, hold, hold. Good. You might be like, that's not happening. That's okay. It all kind of depends on how much weight you're holding. So if what you're holding is generally, or is usually a little lighter than what you normally would at the gym, maybe you can give me that 1 Mississippi at the top.
Stop exercise.
Maybe not. All right, nice job. That's the end of set 3. We have 1 more set, and then we get to move on. We will be using our bench next, or a chair. Just stay down. All right, set 4, back to your normal pace,
Set 4.
and you can move those weights nice and smooth. Don't let them just fall either, right? That's what we just kind of unlearned. I want them to move smooth like they're on a wave. They go up, they crest the top, they slide down. Good, and if you do the seated version, by all means, do the seated version.
Stop exercise.
Nice.
To the next
All right. For this next exercise, you can do it entirely weight-free, or if you'd like, you can have a weight. I'm actually going to put a weight just on the bench. I have a fear of it sliding. And I'm going to hold the weight up at my chest. I'm going to do sit to stand. Now, I'm going to do single leg. I'm standing on my right leg with my left heel out for a little bit of support. I'm going to try to bend and stand up. If that's a little too much, do it with 2 feet. Normal sit to stand. If you're doing it like this, you've probably got about 70% of your weight in your bottom leg, and maybe 30% or so in that front leg. It's helping a little bit with balance, but that front leg is not doing a whole lot of work.
Stop. Exercise.
Good. Shake it out a little bit. I'm gonna switch. Now my weight, that 70% is in my left. I kick my heel out, just kind of falls like a kickstand on the ground to my right foot. And I'm gonna do the other side. Again, sitting nice and slow. Here we go. And trying to stand without rocking or without bouncing off my chair. Right, so for some of you who took class with me before, right, I would say land like a butterfly on a flower, or pretend, you know, you're on ice on a lake. Smooth and controlled. Again, you can totally be doing this with 2 feet, 50% of your weight in each leg. Good, take a break. And again, you don't have to hold the weight. So if the weight's too much, you don't have your hands out for balance, that's totally fine. I like it as a little counterbalance. All right, going back to my right leg being my dominant leg. If you can float the left leg, by all means, put 100% of your weight in the right leg. It's a little more challenging. It's only 35 seconds. So focus here. And worst comes to worst, you come down on that chair a little harder. That's okay. And if worst comes to worst even still, you can always put your left foot down to help you up.
Stop. Exercise.
Nice job, you guys. We've got one more set. All right, left leg is the dominant leg. Right leg can be a helper or a floater. Get ready for set 4. Here we go. Nice. Don't forget to breathe. It helps, I promise. Maybe you notice one side is a little weaker than the other. Good, don't just take that nugget of information and throw it away, right? Think about that.
Exercise.
Maybe this side needs a couple extra reps. Good, and time. All right. Catch your breath for like 2 seconds because we're going to be right into it. We have squat, opposite knee to elbow. Okay, so I'm going to put my hands not behind my head, but on my ears. I don't want to yank my neck. I'm going to go squat, knee to elbow. Squat, knee to elbow, and I'm alternating. As soon as you're ready, go ahead and get started. Good. If your shirt is like mine and you have a logo, make sure I can see it when you squat. Right, so if you have the word Nike right across your chest, I should see it right now.
Stop. Exercise.
Good, take a break if you need it. Shake it out. If you don't need your break, or you want an active recovery where you like jog in place, always available to you. Get ready for set 2.
Begin.
Again, I'm not pulling on my ears or pulling on my neck. My hands are just floating there. And if it's a little too much, I can always have a little more space, right? The point is to get a good squat, just squeeze, contract the core, work those obliques as I twist, right? I lose that twist a little bit if I just disconnect and bring my elbow down. Right, gotta keep my elbows up so the twist happens in my core as opposed to something else breaking form.
Stop. Exercise.
Nice. Shake it out. That's 2 rounds down, 2 rounds to go. I recommend you take your break here. If you want to connect the last 2 sets, you're more than welcome. You ready? Arms up, get set.
Begin.
And here's set 3. Squat, stand and twist. If you have fantastic balance, maybe you're doing this a little faster. really getting the cardio out of it. If your balance is something you're working on, you're probably going a little slower, right? We shift from one leg to the other. We have to balance, we have to twist, we lose our visual contact with that one point of focus, right? It's a little bit challenging. So let it be what it needs to be. If you need your break, take it now. If you want to jog, if you want to do whatever you can, if you're continuing, fantastic. Whatever you need is what I want you to do. Reminder that want and need are not the same thing. All right, go ahead and start set 4 if you haven't already. Feel your core, especially when other muscle groups are getting a little tired, right? We're on the ground next, ladies. All right, we got some planks coming up. Got 2 more exercises after this. Planks, glutes, and triceps. I know that sounds like 3, but the last 2 are together. Time. Awesome. Come down to the ground. I want you to feel a little winded. Again, if you need to do a plank on the bench or your chair, feel free. First plank, very normal, okay? I have my elbows on the ground, walk my feet back, and begin. So, a lot of us like to have our hands tight together. I want you to have your forearms parallel. If you try that, and that's not what you usually do, you should feel an immediate difference. Good, draw the belly button in, squeeze the glutes, tailbone down.
Stop, exercise.
If you need a break, go ahead and take it. You can come out of your plank. For our next set, we're gonna do little knee drops. Right, so I'm gonna tap one kneecap to the ground, and then the other kneecap to the ground. If I'm on something like the bench, I can either do a march or just do a little bend in each knee. Here we go, set 2. Find your plank first. If that's where you need to be, and adding these knee drops causes other things to break form, stick with just a clean plank, all right? Nice job. Don't let your booty travel up into the air. We're almost there.
Stop, exercise.
Good. No matter what, I want you to take the break because we're halfway through. 2 down, 2 to go. For this one, I'm going to step my right foot out to the right, step my feet together. Left foot out to the left, step together. You can do that or any of the versions we've done so far.
Begin.
All right, on your elbows or your hands, wherever you need to be, set 3. Here we go. So I'm doing this little tap together, tap together. It can be small. Maybe you can hang on to it for the first 20 seconds, and then for the last 15, you're like, uh-oh, I'm getting that hammock shape in my lower back. Then you want to ditch anything fancy. Ditch the fancy stuff long before you ditch your form.
Stop, exercise.
Good. If you need a break, go ahead and take it. If you are trying to get through the last set, get through the last set. Totally available to you. All right, stop moving those feet. Find your awesome plank.
Set 4.
I'm gonna have my feet about hip distance apart, and I'm gonna rock forward and back. To rock, I'm not lifting my hips. I'm pointing my toes and changing the angle in my shoulder, right? So kind of moving back like a saw. If it's too much, or you need to take a break, take a quick break, and then jump right back in as soon as you're able. For our next exercise, we're gonna be on our back. Go ahead and stop. And I'm gonna grab lighter weights. Something I can do a tricep extension with. So, Take your time. I know it's fast. My weights are going to be up overhead. My hips are going to be up in a glute bridge, and I'm going to hold it. So find this position, and then all you got to do is bend the elbow. Bring those weights to the top of your head or to your hairline or to the top of each ear and straighten them back up. The only thing that's moving, right, is my forearm. If you were to look at me, that's the only thing you can see change relative to my body, right? Everything else is staying put. Good. If you would like to go through both your first and second set, keep your hips up. If you need a break, take a little break, totally fine. Should feel this in the back of the upper arm, as well as the glutes and the core. Set two, go for it, as soon as you're ready. Nice job, you guys. Stick with it. Arms should be getting a little shaky.
Stop, exercise.
Good, take your break. We're 2 rounds down, we got 2 rounds to go. I'm gonna switch, my arms are gonna get a break. I'm gonna put the weights on my hips. My hands are gonna stay on the weights because I don't want them to roll onto my face or fall off my body. Okay, we're gonna bridge up with those weights on our hips and do little pulses. Slow and steady. All right, catch a wave. Smooth down, hit the bottom, and you're already coming right back up. The goal is to not jerk the hips. Feel that tension in your bum, in your glute mass. Grow, right? And you never get full relief because you're not coming all the way down. If you need a break, take a break. If you do not, I want you to continue. And then for set 4, we are going to do a little baby march. Okay, so I'm going to hold my hips up, they do not drop, and I'm going to lift one foot, just a tiny bit, maybe just your heel. Doesn't have to even be the whole foot. I shift all my weight into one leg, lift the opposite, and vice versa. I'm not kicking my foot, I'm not doing anything fancy, just lifting that one leg a couple inches off the ground.
Stop exercise. Your training is now complete.
Nice, hips down, safely take the weights off your body. Good, there we go. Stay on your back, you should already be on your back, hopefully. All right, we are going to do a little glute stretch. So I'm going to bend my left leg, prop my right foot, my right ankle on top of my left thigh. If right here is enough for you, that's fine. You can kind of push that right knee away. Or if you want, you can thread the needle, grab behind the left thigh, and pull both feet in. Flex both toes up towards the sky. I want strong ankles. The next thing is a little bit of a tongue twister, but I want 90-degree angles in both ankles, okay? Big breath in, big breath out. One more. Big breath in, big breath out. Good. Gently release the left leg. We're gonna switch. So my right knee is bent on the floor. My left leg is, or my left ankle is propped on the right thigh. Again, if right here is enough, if you already feel like, ooh, that piriformis or my IT band is really, really tight on the side of my hip, totally fine, stay here. Or if you want, thread the needle, Grab behind the right thigh and relax. Get that nice stretch. Again, toes up towards the ceiling. Keep those ankles really, really stiff. I just want to protect the joint. I don't want it to get bent in an uncomfortable or funky way. Big breath in. Big breath out. Try to relax the muscles in your face, in your shoulders, in your throat. Big breath in. Big breath out. Nice job. Let the legs float down to the ground, all the way out, straight in front of you. Back of the legs are flat on the floor. Shake the legs a little bit. I don't know if you ever did that in like grade school, where you kind of make a little earthquake with your legs just to kind of shake everything out. And then when you're ready, we're going to grab behind the right thigh. So I'm pulling my knee into my chest, but looping my fingers behind the right thigh, and then sending the right leg up towards the ceiling, right? So I'm getting this nice little hamstring stretch. If it's too much, I can bend the left knee to get a little support for my lower back. Pull your right toes, the ones sticking up way into the sky, down towards your nose. Take one more big deep breath in. Long sigh out through your lips. Bend the top leg, that right leg. We're going to take it over to the left side of the body. So I'm going for a little supine twist here. My left hand is going to stay on top of the right thigh. My right hand is going to go all the way up to the right. So I'm kind of in this opposition right here. That's how I'm going to get that nice twist. If you'd like to increase it a little bit, turn your gaze to the right as well. Good, one more big deep breath. And when you're ready, slowly untwist. I'm going to pull my left knee up and then lower my right leg. Interlace my fingers behind the left thigh. Send my left heel all the way up towards the ceiling, or towards the sky. Good. My left toes, as much as I can, are pulling towards my nose. Again, if I need that support in my lower back, I just bend the bottom leg, the right leg. If not, that's cool too. You don't need to. Nice. And when you're ready, bend that left leg, take it over to the right side of your body. My right hand is kind of helping with the twist by acting as a weight on my left leg. My left arm is going to reach out to the left. Try to pin my left shoulder blade to the ground. And then again, if it feels good, you can turn your gaze to the left as well. Big breath in through the nose. Sigh out through the lips. When you're ready, untwist first, and then lower that leg down. Shake it out, make sure your hips are even. You should be laying in corpse pose or shavasana. So draw those shoulder blades back in together to lift your heart up off the ground just a little bit. If you want to have your arms down at your sides, great. If you want to reach overhead like you're stretching first thing in the morning, also great. I invite you to flex your feet and pretend you're pressing your heels into a wall in front of you. Take the biggest breath you've taken all day. And then sigh it out. Good. Bring your hands either to your heart or to your head. You can place your thumbs right on that third eye point. One thumb at the inside of each eyebrow. And take one more big deep breath. Awesome job, you guys. All right, so if you need to stay on the ground for an extra minute, go ahead and stay on the ground for an extra minute. If you're feeling done, you can come on up. And we are done with our practice. Good job, you guys. Make sure you drink water, replenish your electrolytes, and maybe if you have time, stretch a little bit more. Okay, cool.